AITA for quitting every extracurricular because my parents keep forcing my siblings into them too. I'm 16M, the oldest of three. I have a younger sister, 14F, and a younger brother, 12M. Both of them are on the autism spectrum. They're verbal and fairly high-functioning, but they still need a lot of structure and support. My parents, both late 40s, are extremely protective of them and very big on the idea that family always comes first. What family first means in my household is that everything, literally everything, has to be done together. My parents believe siblings should be inseparable and that it's wrong or even cruel to want your own separate activities. It's not just a belief, it's enforced. They've canceled plans I had with friends so we could do a family day. They've RSVP'd yes to birthday parties on my behalf, then the day have told me I wasn't going. I wasn't even allowed to text the other kid to say I wasn't coming. My parents would literally confiscate my phone, so I couldn't. Sometimes my parents would allow me to invite friends over, then send them home at the door because they suddenly decided it had to be a sibling bonding day. It was humiliating, and over time it destroyed a lot of my friendships. Some parents thought I was flaky and rude, and I don't blame them. Because my siblings are autistic, my parents are adamant that they each have special outlets. So my sister gets piano and violin lessons. My brother gets drawing and painting classes. My parents pour money into these because, in their minds, these activities are therapeutic and essential for them. Me? If they're paying for it, it's not just mine. Either I share it with a sibling, or they don't want to pay for it all. And when I try something new, it always turns into, oh, let's add your sister or brother so you can do it together. That's been the story of my life. When I was 9, I tried boxing. My little brother was way too young to be in the same class, but my parents insisted on signing him up anyway. The coach was uncomfortable with it, but gave in after my dad pushed. It ruined the experience because I felt like I couldn't focus. Half the time, I was worried my brother would get hurt. I quit. At 11, I tried swimming. I loved it at first. Then my parents signed my sister up too. She was in a different group, but my parents insisted she be at the pool the same time I was. My dad would sit by the pool shouting about how you two need to swim together. It was suffocating. I quit again. Each time, my parents blamed me. They said I was being antisocial and anti-family. They accused me of being ableist because I didn't want to include my siblings. That cut deep because I don't hate my siblings. I just wanted something for myself. By 13, I'd given up asking them to pay for anything. I stopped even trying. Recently, a friend told me about the local community center. They run free or cheap programs, photography, cooking, fitness, etc. They're not fancy, but I thought maybe this was my chance to do something just for me. So I tried photography. For 3 weeks, it was fun. Then my parents signed my brother up. Suddenly, it wasn't mine anymore. My brother would wander into my group, or my parents would hover saying, make sure you're doing it together. I quit. Then I tried cooking classes. Same story. My mom said, it will be so nice for you to all learn cooking together. You'll bond. She dragged my sister and brother in. The first class was chaos. My sister didn't like half the textures. My brother got fixated on chopping vegetables perfectly straight. I couldn't focus on anything I wanted to learn. I quit again. This time my parents flipped. They said it looked bad for a 16-year-old to stick with nothing, and that colleges want to see extracurriculars. They accused me of being lazy, selfish, and a bully to my siblings. My dad actually said, do you know how many people would kill to have a family like yours? You're lucky. I lost it. I told them I didn't care if I had 0 extracurriculars, because nothing was ever mine. I said if my sister gets violin and my brother gets painting, then I deserve something that's just mine too. My mom snapped that we don't do separate in this family. I told them then maybe I don't belong in this family. I actually said, kick me out then. That sounds better than this. Now I'm grounded. I'm not allowed to go anywhere without my siblings. No hanging with friends unless they're there. My parents said it's my punishment for being a brat and a hurtful brat who doesn't appreciate family. I feel trapped. On one hand, I get that my siblings need support and outlets. I'm not trying to deny them that. But why does it mean I can't have anything for myself? Why is it selfish to want one hobby that isn't a group activity? I feel like my parents don't see me as my own person. I'm just the third teammate in their idea of sibling unity. When I push back, I'm told I'm ableist or ungrateful or a bully. But I also wonder, maybe I really am being selfish? Maybe at 16, I should just suck it up and include my siblings in everything. Maybe wanting something for myself makes me the asshole. My parents keep saying one day I'll regret not being closer to my siblings, that I'll look back and hate myself. I don't hate my siblings. I just want something of my own. But my parents insist that's wrong. After being grounded, I've thought about quitting, even trying extracurriculars altogether. Like, why bother? Every time I start something, my parents make it about my siblings. If that's the rule, then I'd rather do nothing. At least then, I won't set myself up for disappointment. But my parents say that makes me a quitter, lazy, and unmotivated. They say colleges will reject me because I stuck with nothing. They use that as proof on the problem. So now I feel like I can't win. If I try something, they ruin it by forcing my siblings in. If I quit, I'm a failure. If I refuse to try, I'm lazy. If I demand something for myself, I'm selfish and ableist. If I give in, I feel suffocated. So here I am. Am I really the asshole for quitting extracurriculars when my parents keep forcing my siblings into them? Am I selfish for wanting something that's just mine? Or are my parents being controlling and unfair? AITA? Update. I didn't expect my first post to get so much attention, but it really blew up. I've been reading the comments nonstop. Some of them stung, but most made me feel really seen for the first time. Thank you. So, I didn't tell my parents about the post, obviously, but a few things went down. One, I showed my aunt. I trust her more than my parents, and I wanted an adult's perspective who wasn't directly in the fight. She read my post, and then the comments. At first she said, well, you know your parents mean well. But after seeing how many people said this was suffocating and unfair, she actually admitted maybe they're going too far with this family first thing. That was huge for me. 2, she talked to my parents. A couple of days later, she came over and brought it up with them while I was in the room. She basically said, you can't keep forcing everything to be shared. He's his own person. He needs space. My mom got defensive right away. She said the internet doesn't understand our family values. My dad said, we're not going to let strangers tell us how to raise our son. But my aunt pushed back harder than I've ever seen. She said, you've already damaged his friendships. Do you want him to hate you when he's 18 and free? 3, the fallout. Things have been tense. My parents were furious with me for airing dirty laundry. They didn't know about Reddit, but they know I showed my aunt something. They accused me of trying to turn family against family. For a day, I thought I'd made everything worse. 4, but then a tiny shift. Yesterday, my dad asked me what I would actually want to do if it was just me. I said photography again. He sighed and said, we'll talk about it. My mom is still resistant. She says it's cruel to exclude my siblings. But for the first time, it feels like they're actually considering letting me have something that's mine. I'm still grounded technically, but my parents did ease up a little. I was allowed to go to the library alone yesterday. That sounds small, but it's honestly the first solo thing I've done in years without a sibling in tow. I also had a heart-to-heart with my sister. She asked me straight up if I hate her. That gutted me. I told her no, that I love her, I just want one thing of my own sometimes. She thought about it and said, like how I have violin and you don't? And I said, yes, exactly. She nodded like she finally got it. That gave me hope that maybe I'm not a total jerk for feeling this way. So, progress? Maybe. But also, I'm bracing myself for disappointment because my parents have a history of saying one thing and then reverting. For now, I'll wait to see if they actually let me try photography again without dragging my siblings in. If they don't, I think I'm done trying until I'm 18. Thanks for listening and giving me perspective. I still don't know if I handled things perfectly, but at least I feel less alone.